We've contemplated for years at what exactly is going on over there at Lucasfilm, to the point where we're wondering if maybe the Disney company themselves don't know what goes on in the halls of Lucasfilm. What used to belong to George Lucas, but now belongs to Miss Kathleen Kennedy, that very non-controversial head of that studio over there. Well, it looks like while there's so much motion in the press talking about the next big Star Wars film, it seems that Disney has quietly said, no, 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 we're replacing your Star Wars movie with something else. Let's talk about that on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, a reporter from That Park Place, and here with me is Mr. Vash Guy. Vash, are you ready to talk about a Star War?
I think I'm ready to talk about a Star War, or maybe, I don't know, Jonas, is it a Star War or is it a war for the slate?
I think that is an excellent way to put it, because they have to release a movie, but before they can release a movie, they have to put it in the slot. And I think people are very confused as to what should be going where. Let's bring a little context into this. First of all, there is some heavy lifting being done over there in the press, and it seems to be a little bit of a shadow campaign to try to resuscitate the image of Star Wars here. But Disney, well, I'll just tell you, Disney takes Star Wars off the 2026 calendar as Ice Age 6 grabs a date. Yeah, I'm thinking that Ice Age 6 isn't that big up and comer at the studio here. I think Disney said, what do we own that we could put in theaters in December and not get in the way of everything else? I just have to say this for anyone watching these. The Ice Age films, I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of Ice Age, but they made enough money. The Blue Sky Studios that Disney bought along with Fox, Disney was apparently very eager to close those down and liquidate or bring those animators into different sections. And they weren't interested in the studio, but they're definitely interested in their IP. So yeah, Vash, you got anything there?
Well, they were very interested, and it's interesting because Ice Age 6 was just announced to be actively in production with a kind of a teaser trailer here at D23 Brazil, and you can kind of see Ray Romano, John Leguizamo, Queen Latifah, Dennis Leary, Simon Pegg, all returning for this adventure. Again, this was just released, I want to say a couple of days ago at D23 Brazil, and now we're getting word that not only is the studio so confident that it's putting it on the slate for 2026. You can kind of see right here, untitled Star Wars picture. That's where it was going to actually go. They're so confident that it's usurping Star Wars. I mean, this is some pretty crazy stuff there, Jonas.
The other thing that we need to remember here is it's not just the Rey movie that is supposedly gunning for this slot. First of all, we had the announcement that who was it? Stephen Knight was not taken off the production. He hasn't been writing any more Rey movie scripts, and he's moved on from the project, and they're currently looking for a writer. Of course, Daisy Ridley the entire time is saying, "Oh, I'm excited about what's coming next, all this," and then almost immediately after that, we get this announcement that the Dawn of the Jedi movie from James Mangold, that's going to be going into production very soon and is going to be released in 2026. So we assumed that they were now aiming for that movie to come out in that 2026 slot. Then there was the announcement of course, Skeleton Crew is not soaking up much oxygen here, even though that comes out in just days from the release of this video. I mean, early December. Then we have this announcement of Simon Kinberg, and it didn't come from Lucasfilm. It came from the trades, and everybody seemed to indicate that they had the exclusive on it. Simon Kinberg is going to come in, and he's going to produce, I don't know if he'll direct, and probably write a trilogy of films for Lucasfilm. This is in addition, or maybe is the Rey movie at this point. It's very confusing. It's very opaque exactly what's going on here, especially because it didn't come from Lucasfilm. We have to wonder if it came from Kathleen Kennedy or maybe Simon Kinberg. We did finally get some confirmation that Simon Kinberg's Star Trek film is in fact in production, but that film was announced in a similar manner where maybe it came out under less than reputable circumstances I'll just say it. It sounds like maybe Simon Kinberg leaked it himself so that everybody can know that he's going to be the guy in charge of Star Wars. But here's a great graphic here, Vash, that you've got. Do you want to run us through this real quick?
Yes, this is so everybody can keep track because I almost lost my place there while you were giving us the description. You can see Simon Kinberg's trilogy. That's at the top of the list, and I think for the reasons Jonas actually said right there. Mandalorian Grogu, you can see that's on the list as well. New Jedi Order, that's what we are anticipating is the Charmin Obaid-Chinoy Rey film that might be actually competing with Simon Kinberg's Star Wars trilogy, depending on how that goes. See, it's not even clear as to where that trilogy might go. Some people are speculating that it's 10, 11, 12, but who knows? James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi movie, it looks like that's to be in production, which was surprising. I thought that after Indiana Jones 5, they might walk away from Mangold there, but apparently no. And you can kind of see all of the films, other than Dave Filoni's Star Wars movie, that I don't really see has a really good chance of actually happening. We haven't heard anything really about the Taika Waititi film. Now, did you, Jonas? Did you have any updates for the Rogue Squadron movie and Patty
I
Jenkins
do,
specifically?
in fact, and this is the only kind of updates we get from Star Wars films these days is the fact that Patty Jenkins is moving over to work with Lego, and they're doing Lego is working with Universal for live action Lego movies, which I don't understand that combination of words honestly. With Jake Kasdan, Patty Jenkins, and Joe Cornish. Jake Kasdan of course, just got done with Red One, which sounds like it's going to be one of the bigger flops in recent history. But Patty Jenkins, you know, uh, other than Wonder Woman 1984, most people would agree that Patty Jenkins is a higher quality director, but can't seem to make it work over there at Lucasfilm. She's supposed to be in charge of the Rogue Squadron film. They obviously did a big thing that was kind of Top Gun-ish that they were promoting the film with, and Patty Jenkins talked about I'm going to say her father or her grandfather was an Air Force pilot or something like that, and going for like a Star Wars Top Gun kind of thing. So I don't think I think this puts Rogue Squadron even further down the list. Uh, Other things that have been announced, of course, Andor just got a release date for season 2, which that should be April 22nd of next year, 2025. And also, we got this out of the blue Ahsoka season 2 update reveals new release projection that they're apparently going to be shooting this soon. I gotta say, I watched every minute of Ahsoka, and it should have been a cartoon. And I don't mean that as disrespect. Everyone who watches this channel knows that I love animation. I think that there's a certain aspect of animation that it frames it well in the audience's mind what it needs to be. I think this was a show that needed work. The special effects were there, but man, they really failed on creating an engaging product for this one. I have yet to see. I usually like to watch those fan edits where they edit an entire season down into one conducive movie. I will say the Kenobi one is one of the better ones from I think Kai Patterson. I haven't done that for Ahsoka just yet. So to just run down the list really quick, I'm trying to think if there are any other Star Wars announcements out there to try to muddy the waters here before we get back to the real problem, which let's just go ahead and address that. It seems that Disney has more faith in Ice Age 6 than they do in the Rey movie at this point, or a quote unquote trilogy of Rey movies. By the way, they did not, of the things that did not get mentioned on that earnings call, they did not mention the Rey movie. They did not mention Simon Kinberg coming back for a Star Wars trilogy. And unrelated to this, they did not mention Snow White for the second earnings call in a row, despite naming many movies on the earnings call. Almost the entire Disney theatrical slate got mentioned on that earnings call. And despite the fact that they've had $400 million movies that aren't being mentioned, the fact that the Rey movie, which again, Caroline Reed, fantastic headline, fantastic article over there on Forbes saying that The Rise of Skywalker came in under budget. But by the way, it might have cost $580 million to make. You have to wonder if someone over there that has the ability to count said, you know what? Maybe we don't need to make a sequel to The Rise of Skywalker. Maybe we need to make an Ice Age film that costs 75 to 150 million dollars to make and has a chance of making 300 million at the box office. What do you think? Am I crazy here?
No, I don't think you're crazy. see it all. This is insane. It really is a showdown between Rey Palpatine, Skywalker, depending on your flavor, and Rey Romano. I mean, this is just absolutely incredible right there. You can actually see the upcoming theatrical releases that the company released as part of the earnings call that we just actually recently heard. You can see right here also the select upcoming Disney Plus and Hulu releases. Pretty light on the Lucasfilm on both these charts right here. I don't even think Lucasfilm shows up in 2025, but that really is saying something there. This studio is absolutely in disarray. The reason I show that chart so frequently is because not only does it give you a visual indicator of where everything's being placed and what is actually happening and what the trades are, let's say, promoting, but it also gives you a visual indication of just how chaotic the studio actually is. It looks like they're moving around deck chairs, but the ship is still sinking.
All right. Well, and just for those of you who wonder, the Wild Robot, again, $75 to $100 million budget, probably more like $80 million budget. Netflix probably funded 50 million of that directly so that they can have Wild Robot on their platform. And look at that, 300 million at the global box office. It may go up to 500 million if they leave that in theaters. Because guess what? Families are starved for good content at the box office that doesn't want to surprise them for the conversation on the ride home. Is Disney making the right move with putting Ice Age 6 in the December slot? I think probably. There's a pretty good chance it'll make its money back. Is it disrespectful to the people that they bought their entire studio and now they just want to skin them for parts? Well, that's kind of what Disney does these days. If it doesn't have the name Disney attached to it, well, it's in danger. And if it does have the name Disney attached to it, well, we hope they move on from their current CEO sometime soon. Let us know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below here. Do you think that an Ice Age film has a chance to make more money than a Star Wars film when accounting for the fact that it has to make a profit? Let us know. Like this video, of course, if you like this video, and consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.